While everyone's focusing and talking about their morning routine and how they can get the most out of it, everyone is neglecting having a night routine. A night routine is as important as the morning routine itself because it sets you up for the next day. I want to show you exactly how to build one yourself so that the next day will be wired for success. Let's get right into this. One of the first things that I implemented, not even consciously, was having a night routine. Because my sleep was very valuable. Sometimes I woke up at 8 AM, sometimes at 10. So having a morning routine was not even a thought process for me. But the night routine was pretty clear to me. Every night, half an hour before I would really go to bed, I would pack my stuff for the next day. I would go into the bath, brush my teeth, do everything to set myself up for tomorrow, and then go to bed. Mostly at the same time. And while I did that unconsciously, this was one of the best practices that I implemented. Because I realized that when I actually implemented my own morning routine, that this morning routine couldn't work without having a proper night routine for it. Even on YouTube, you just see guys over guys talking about their perfect morning routine, how they've made 1 million a month with this morning routine. But not a lot of people talk about their night routine and how they set themselves up for perfect sleep and to therefore prepare their whole next day for success. So to give you a big advantage in front of 90% of people, I want to show you the perfect night routine that sets you up for the next day so that you can work at full capacity. The first thing that you should do for this is that you don't eat any food or big meals 2 hours before you go to bed. I know you. You're the guy that wants to eat a bowl of ice cream when you watch a movie late at night before you go to bed. While these are good memories and why it's fun to do that, it is not good at all for your sleep. Because your body works in a simple manner. It has to digest your food. And when you eat something right before going to bed, even a very big meal, your body has to fight and digest the food that you've just eaten. And guess what? If you eat a very big meal or just simple things with high sugar, high fat, or even with caffeine, your body has to fight against it because it wakes your body up, which disrupts your process of falling asleep. So keep off your midnight snacks and don't drink any coffee or even energy drinks before going to bed so that your body can fully rest when you want to go to sleep. The second thing is that you don't consume any screens or blue light 1 hour before going to bed. There it is kind of the same thing. Blue light blocks the production of your hormone, which is named melatonin. This hormone causes you to be more drowsy and sleepy so that you can fall into sleep faster. And if you consume a lot of blue light, this has an opposite effect. It first of all stops the production of this hormone, and second of all makes you more awake than you already are. And as you can guess, being more awake when you want to go to sleep is definitely a bad thing for it. But many people don't even realize that this is the number one thing keeping them from falling asleep fast at night. And then they say, oh, I cannot fall asleep that fast. I'm just a bad sleeper. While they've consumed 3 hours of social media and digital content just before going to bed. Also, an effect of social media is that it overstimulates your brain and therefore makes you more awake again. Social media kind of turns on your brain and gives out so many emotions and functions that your brain can't rest at night when you want to go to sleep. So the best thing is to really block off any screen, any phone 1 hour before you go to bed. Of course, can you quickly use your phone to look at something or to look at a time, but in general you should avoid looking at these screens too much before going to bed. Because as I said, you will just be awake, won't be falling into sleep, and therefore will just have a bad night's sleep that's gonna ruin your whole morning. And to make that point easier of blocking all the screens off, read a book 30 minutes before you go to bed. It is such a simple practice. Turn off your phone, lay it to the side, and then grab yourself a book that you can read in for 30 minutes. The best thing is if you combine it with a knowledge or self-improvement book, because then you've got two good habits at once. First of all, reading a book will relax your body, will even make you a bit drowsy so that you can fall into sleep faster. And the second thing is that you get in your daily dose of knowledge so that every day you even further your skills while making your sleep better. So this is not just a simple habit to relax your body, but to also get knowledge in, to also improve your skills. So don't miss that step because you don't like reading books. Implement it and you will see that this will be actually a very big part of your night routine. That is also very effective. Then to go through your day again and to write down all of the ideas that you have just before going to sleep. Journaling is the best practice for this. Write down the most important things that have happened throughout your day. If it is some conflict that you had in your head, if it is a question that you've asked yourself that was actually very important, or if it just was an encounter with one of your friends, your family, that was a very nice or even bad moment. Write everything down in one notebook. When you write everything down in one notebook, you can read through it again, you can structure your thoughts, and the best thing is, which has helped me a lot, write down all of the ideas that you have just before going to sleep. What actually happens with me a lot is that just before bed, my brain starts to work at 100% of brain capacity and throws out one idea after another that I mostly forget the next day. And to keep that from happening, I just grab myself a notebook and write every one of these ideas down. So that first of all, I can go to sleep relaxed because I don't have to remember them or even think about them. And second of all, the next morning when I wake up, I'm just gonna grab my notebook, read through the ideas again, and then I can work on them further when I'm more awake, when I have more energy, and when I'm more motivated to do that. That is generally just a point that you can do. Writing down everything of your emotions, your feelings, your problems, your questions, and everything that you just write that down so that you have kind of emptied your brain and therefore can go into a more relaxed state because you don't have to remember anything, you don't have to discuss anything with yourself, and therefore can just think about nothing to fall asleep faster and to have a better night's sleep. Similar to journaling is that you make a plan for the next day. This is as important as any step in this morning routine, if not even the most important. This was one of the first habits that I took on and it was the most effective. It does not only structure your next day so that you won't just run around thinking what you have to do next, and that you have a structured plan, know what you have to do, have structured time blocks in which you do one certain task, and will be more motivated because you just see the list in front of you can just tick off every single point and therefore work more efficiently. It is such a simple practice, it really just takes 5 minutes every day, but it saves you so much time that the ROI on this habit is abysmal. And the more precise you are with your plan, the more you're gonna get out of it. So don't miss this step if you want to have a very successful day. Up next is to take a cold shower just before going to bed. What? Yes, you have heard me right. Taking a cold shower just before going to bed first of all lowers your body temperature. But what it also does as a counter effect is that afterwards it stimulates your body to get its temperatures up and to therefore be more comfy in your own body. You know that when you go to sleep. Many people have talked about that you have to go and sleep in a very cold environment. And that is true, because that enables your body to increase its temperature, which is gonna make it more comfortable to sleep, relax you more, and will just turn off your body way faster so that you can fall asleep, have a good night's sleep, and be more energized in the morning. What it also does is that it cleans you off so that every time when you go to bed, you don't make it musky and dirty and you just sleep in a very comfy and nice environment. Pair this with brushing your teeth and other hygiene practices after and you're ready to go to bed. Now comes the real most important part. Plan your bedtime to be 10 hours and go to sleep at the same time every day. But why 10 hours? Isn't 8 hours enough? Yes, but when you plan your bedtime to be 10 hours, you will mostly just sleep for 8 hours. You know there's a distinction between bedtime and sleep time. As you know yourself, once you go to bed, you don't just fall asleep instantly. If that would be the case, it would just be amazing, but it sadly isn't. So what you have to do is that you plan in your time when you go to bed to be around 10 hours, because a rule suggests that around 80% of your bedtime converts into actual sleep time. So guess what? If you go to bed and lay in your bed for 10 hours, and obviously you want to go to sleep, then you will sleep for around 8 hours every day. Of course, we'll have better days where you will sleep for 9 hours and worse days where you will just sleep for 7 or even 6. But in average, you will sleep 8 hours every day and therefore can track your sleep better so that you can improve on it even more. And by going to bed at the same time every day, your body adjusts to it so that you will fall asleep faster at the same time. So when you go to sleep at 10 p.m. every day, you can kind of expect to feel tired around 9:30. And the same goes for waking up. When you wake up every day at 7 o'clock, your body will adjust to it so that you won't have to use a clock to wake up at the same time every day. Your body will just do that automatically because it has an inner clock that will adjust to your sleeping habits. And the better these are, the better it's going to work. Your sleep is the one thing that is setting you up for the next day. If it is your next day is gonna be So definitely improve your sleeping habits and make them as good as you can so that your next day will be set up for the most success achievable. So these were a lot of steps to go through and it definitely takes ages, right? No, not really. The thing is, even if you take into account the book reading, which already takes half an hour, you will only add all of these things up to around 1 hour. And when you think about it, 1 hour to set up your next day so that you can get the most out of it isn't much. There are some habits that take even longer than this and don't have the same effect. And now look back on what you have achieved in this 1 hour. You've read a book, you've taken care of your hygiene, you've showered, you have not consumed any social media, any screens, or even any junk food. And what you've also done is that you've just prepared yourself for the best sleep that you maybe ever had. So really look back at this 1 hour and really think about if it was worth it taking in or not. And you will see it is definitely worth it. For me, the night routine is even more important than having a structured morning routine. But as always, take it easy, take it slow, and take it one step at a time, so that you will really see every benefit of every single habit that we've just implemented, and that you won't demotivate yourself of really getting a structured night routine. So don't forget to really adopt the night routine for yourself, so that you can set up the next day for the ultimate success. And when you've done it, then leave a comment with your tips and experience down below. If you want to know how to have the perfect morning routine, then watch this video right after. Always keep your focus on your purpose. See you next time.